Welcome everyone and good afternoon. A beautiful sunny day here in Suwanee. Started back in 2007, the Gwinnett Sports Commission, the force behind the High Line Criterium right here in Suwanee, Georgia. Suwanee, the very first city to offer a bike share program in Gwinnett County, now offers up race number 6 of the USACRITS series. The park, Town Center on Main, opened up in 2024 and now celebrates its second year of hosting these great races. Located about 1 hour northwest of Atlanta, it's a perfect location to continue the southeast locations for the USACRITS series. Once again, USACRITS series race number 6. Trail conditions, temperatures about 70 degrees. A beautiful day as our women are lined up, getting ready to tackle a fantastic race course. This will be the third day of racing in a row. So the big question mark, how much fatigue is set into the riders' legs? Are they feeling fresh? What can they do when we get to the finish line? The High Line Criterium presented by Gwinnett Sports Commission as GSC driving the economic development and growth in Gwinnett County as a leading site for sports events from youth to collegiate to professional. A familiar course to what the riders have seen last year. No change to the race courses. They're getting ready to be able to tackle a little bit over a 1 kilometer circuit here in Suwanee. Yesterday we went to Spartanburg for one of the biggest block parties in the nation. That was going to be race number 5 in our Spartanburg race, and they call it on purpose the fastest race in the upstate. Spartanburg Criterium presented by Gibbs Cancer Center and Spartanburg Medical Center. Tailgating tents on the side of the road all the way around, and immediately Kingdom Elite started to be able to attack, try to be able to rip the race apart, but a lot of fresh legs from many of our riders that were in the race, and they did not want to let things get away from them too quickly. So they responded, speeds hovering right at about 25 miles an hour. The purple jerseys of Kingdom Elite continued to attack, and then finally, Heidi Praderis got into a little bit of a breakaway with Alexi Ramirez. Alexi Ramirez, a national champion from Trinidad and Tobago. Heidi Praderis from Cuba. But Ramirez did not want to participate because she knew she had a very good sprinter sitting in the back with Skylar Schneider. Shannon Koch then going on the attack. The multi-time master national champion trying to be able to rip the race apart. Again, Kingdom Elite responding to it. Different riders trying to be able to go up for it. In the mid-race point sprint, that was one of the fastest sections of the race. And after that, that's when we started to see riders start to be able to split apart. Specifically, Skylar Schneider starting to break, Andrea Sear responding to it, and then Rebecca Lang going on there as well. 3 riders continue to be able to build up about a 40-second lead, and this main field started to be a fall a little bit further back. So the mistake came from Kingdom Elite, not having a purple jersey in that front. Then we started to see them coming together, united. Kingdom Elite, Lisa Ray, your overall leader, also chasing on the front. 4 teams, they brought it from 40 seconds down to 10, but it was not enough to be able to bring back our trio. Andrea Sear sitting on the back of the group with Rebecca Lang. The two of them knew on paper, Skylar Schneider was the fastest in the sprint. And the question was, would they be able to get rid of them before the end? But at the finish line, it came true as Skylar Schneider came through, winning race number 2 of her USACRITS series. She won in Greenville and came back to win in Spartanburg as Schneider came across the line first, Andrea Sear in second, and Rebecca Lang in third. Because of her great race in LaGrange, picking up over 63 bonus points, she had a bad crash in Greenville, had to recover from that in Spartanburg, but still had enough points to be able to keep her Jackaroo overall leader's jersey as Lisa Ray remains the queen of the USACRITS series.
All right, thank you, Frankie. And the course map, if you're watching us on the live stream, or here it is a roundabout race course. Not technical like Greenville, but very fast. I just did a pre-ride. This section that's coming up is the fastest part of the course. It is in a tailwind, so they'll be doing easily 30 to 35 miles an hour on the course. Then they're gonna come under the High Line and take a quick left, head up a punchy little hill, and they're gonna head and take a big right turn. That right turn is a little bit dark. We're gonna illuminate it. And it's also dark because that's where the racers will start to feel a tailwind. You might think that's good for you, but on this course, it'll make it that much harder. Then a hard right turn and about 250 meters to the finish line. This is the section of the course that they will light up and sprint. 100 meters from the finish line right there. We've passed by an amazing school set. And there's your finish line as they head to the final spot at High Line Crit here in Suwanee.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for our call-up. I'd like to be able to recognize some of our top athletes right here in Suwanee. We're going to start off coming off a second place yesterday and a third place in Greenville. Riding for the brand new team, Higher Dose Renova. Coming out of Carmel, Indiana, Andrea Sear.
All right, our next call, ladies and gentlemen, she's been in Columbia for the past couple of years, and now she's made her way over to the U.S. Racing for One Heart Racing out of Columbia. Please welcome Natalia Franco.
Our next rider is a current Masters National Champion. Coming out of Harvard, Massachusetts, riding for the light blue jerseys of United, Leslie Tim.
National champ of Trinidad and Tobago, Pan American champ rocking that jersey for Legion. Please welcome Alexi Ramirez.
Our USA CRITS Series in 2026 spanning 8 races. Your overall champion last year in 2025. She won the entire USA CRITS Series. Coming out of Cuba, riding for Kingdom Elite, Elena Quevedo.
Our next athlete, just before yesterday, was residing in 6th overall, jumped all the way up to 3rd overall, and ladies and gentlemen, she was 3rd in Spartanburg. 4 Team Winston-Salem, Augusta's own Rebecca Lang.
If you want to talk about being consistent, this next rider has it. 2nd overall right now, coming off a 2nd place in Greenville. She comes out of Greenville, South Carolina. Also riding with the purple jerseys of Kingdom, Izzy Harden.
Next up, ladies and gentlemen, she will be wearing your orange Jack Crew overall leader for USA CRITS. Born in St. Petersburg, Russia, now from Brooklyn, racing for Kingdom Elite, your overall leader, Lisa Ray.
The rest of the riders to the line.
All righty, there you have it. You have our women's race now on and at the start line, ready to go. Ladies, 6 laps to go, no more free laps. If you're out of contention, our chief official meeting may pull you. Also, if there's a crash or an accident, just before the finish line on your right is going to be our pit. Other than that, that is all we've got. All right, ladies, and all of Suwanee, we've got 1 minute to go. women have been battling for the better part of a couple of months now, starting back in Anniston, making its way through Athens and LaGrange. Don't forget Spartanburg, Greenville.
Race number 6 of our USA Crit Series as they're getting ready to tackle 60 minutes of racing. Once again, those 3 laps are over with 6 laps to go. 30 seconds out, riders. 30 seconds out. Your pro women are lined up. They're clipped in, buckled up, and ready to go. But the question is, Chad, is Suwanee ready?
Yeah! How bad is Suwanee on High Line? One more time. Are you guys ready up there? All right, all right, all right. All right, ladies, you're going to be going in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There's Preem on the first lap, ladies. Preem on the first lap, Preem on the first lap. And now they're off. Makes for an exciting time here. Women are now on course for 60 minutes of fun.
Well, just like that, our pro women underway here again. Lisa Ray out of Russia, now living in Brooklyn, New York, riding for Kingdom Elite. So dominant so far, so consistent in the series as she gets the honor of wearing that orange Jack Crew Leaders jersey. Of course, last night they made a little bit of a tactical error letting that 3-rider break get up the road, but I tell you what, Kingdom Elite, I'm sure that they learned from that mistake. They will not let that happen again here tonight. Look at this, one rider already on the move very, very quickly in our race. Going to get that Preem. We rang the bell right off the line, so picking up that Preem the very first time through. That is going to be Jade Stevens from the United Cycling Women's Squad. And, well, she's just going to roll tempo out there. Why not take advantage of that gap she's opened up? And maybe some other riders will come across to her. And that might establish a little bit of a pecking order early on in our women's race. Noticeably absent. Not seeing Skylar Schneider out there, the winner of the last couple of nights from the Legion of Los Angeles squad. Her teammate, the champion of Trinidad and Tobago, Alexi Ramirez, joining us here, so maybe she'll have an opportunity. She's doing a great job working for one of the fastest sprinters in America to pick up a couple of wins, but now maybe her turn will come tonight if she can capitalize off some of the other teams. Oh, it's Jade Stevens still off the front, still rolling tempo there. The rest of the field lined out behind, trying to get things sorted out here. We wrap up lap number 2 of our professional women's race. That's going to be Kingdom Elite assuming their position at the front, as is their responsibility given that they've got the overall series leader in the group.
One rider dangling right off the front is going to be Jade Stevens from United Cycling. She got the call up, and now she's trying to be able to take advantage of that. Bringing them back on the backstretch right now. Remember, 60 minutes of racing. They're going to race for time for about 15 laps, let's just call it. The officials are calculating how long it's taking them to do each of those laps. Once they get done, Then we're going to be putting up our lap cards. So once we get about 20 minutes into the race, the lap cards will go up, and then the riders will know exactly how long it is to the finish. We'll probably start putting lap cards up right at about 15 laps to go. We'll be counting them down, and when we get to the finish, it will equal to 60 minutes of racing.
Well, just like that, our lone rider off the front, Jade Stevens, back into the fold here. Kingdom Elite putting a lot of their riders on the front, trying to regain control of the series here. They've still been seeing great riding by their leader, Lisa Ray. But again, last night, a little bit of a tactical blunder. I'm sure they had a long conversation back at the team compound last night, bound and determined to try and work out the kinks there and not make the same mistake twice.
Kingdom Elite on the front right now, making sure they're not going to be able to miss any moves. I don't want to call this a flat course. I'm going to call this a little bit undulating because they do have a little bit of a hill going up towards that main street. Absolutely beautiful location here in Suwanee. It's called the Park, Town Center on Main. That's what the name of this park is, Town Center on Main. Opened back in 2024. Beautiful. You got the High Line because they got this walking path that goes into a tunnel that'll then take you into downtown. They got the food court circle as well. Be able to get you something to eat. Beach volleyball, a little bit of some water features as well. A lot of different art sculptures. Beautiful area to be able to hang out, be able to come out and have a picnic, and to be able to bring out and have a bike race as it's the second year returning here to Suwanee. Shannon Koch, the multi-time Master National Champion, riding on the front right now. Rest of the riders sitting on the back waiting to see what will happen over the next 55 minutes.
Don't forget, we've got lots of great food vendors around here with lots of food trucks on hand with just about any kind of cuisine you'd like to get your hands on. Of course, Stillfire Brewing serving up some adult beverages directly across from us here. Make sure you get your hands on some of the wonderful brews that they've got going. Stillfire Brewing, a 20-barrel brewery and tap room located right here in Suwanee Town Center. 18 beers on tap and a wide selection from IPAs to traditional style to barrel-aged fruit and sour beers. It is the weekend, so make sure you act according here and enjoy your time here in Suwanee.
Higher Dose Renova on the attack right now with that multicolored jersey. Head down, trying to be able to string it out. Some riders want to be able to make the race hard, others don't care. Elizabeth Dixon. So this Higher Dose Renova team came out of a team that folded last year. That was Fountain Cycling. Fountain Cycling in those dark green jerseys with the team out of the Washington State. Fountain decided to be able to maybe focus a little bit more on their development riders. And so when they stopped to do with the pro women, Andrea Sear decided, hey, I'm going to start my own team. And she got together with a lot of the former riders from Higher Dose Renova. And so you got Sear here with Elizabeth Dixon and Regina Dottie, many of them coming from that Fountain Cycling team. So they put together a little power-packed hit squad to be able to come here to the Criteriums. Now, one thing to keep in mind, Lisa Ray, wearing your orange at Jackaroo Leaders jersey, she had a crash in the Greenville race. That got her a little bit scraped up and maybe was not 100% going into Spartanburg. So every single day, that recovery gets a little bit better, so hopefully we're going to see a little bit better legs from Lisa Ray as she continues to try to hold on to that lead.
We got a little bit of a breakaway starting to form off the front. All the major teams represented there. We've got the higher dose rider. That's going to be Andrea Sear driving the train. We've also got Alexi Ramirez in there, the national champion of Trinidad and Tobago, riding for that Legion of Los Angeles squad. And I believe that was Shannon Koch from Kingdom Elite tagging into that move as well. And you can look at the back of the group to see the real damage going on as a lot of riders now having a hard time with the injection of pace with that 4-rider attack. Now, if you're unfamiliar with the USA Crits, the way these riders build up their points, not just from overall finish at the end of each race, but we have several point sprints during each race. One about 5 laps in, one at mid-race, and then one with 5 laps to go. 10, 7, 5, 3, 2 are the value of those points for the first couple of riders across the line. And, well, we're getting up to that time where we're going to start ringing the bell when they come through for that first point sprint of the night. My man Frankie has found some willing participants down there, and we will keep you posted. Hang tight. We'll let you know when it's time to ring.
Riders on their downhill. We're going to start ringing the bell. Ring the bell. Ring the bell. Point sprint. Point sprint. Point sprint. Points. 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 Point sprint. 5 places deep. Point sprint. USA Crit. Point sprint.
Well, that was Heather Fisher leading the crew through. Lauren Zorner from the Winston-Salem Flow team not too far behind. So Fisher sitting pretty solid right now after a couple of rides, trying to get herself some more points to add to her total. Lauren Zorner, of course, she's had a couple of top 10 finishes the past 2 nights, Greenville and Spartanburg. I'm sure we'll see her at Winston-Salem as well on Memorial Day weekend for the last 2 races on Friday and Saturday to wrap up our 2026 USA Crit Series. And I'll tell you, every point matters. So these riders all trying to get in on the action. You can see looking down the standings right now in the overall, second and third in the overall, only separated by 40 points. It's only another 30 points back to 4th place. Our riders going to be making their way down into sight momentarily. You can see just across the very top of the course diving into the turn. I believe that looked like our higher dose squad leading the charge. And again, tailwind sprint, when in doubt, lead it out. Keep that speed rolling as the riders now making their way through, and they are going after it for this sprint. Look like Kingdom Elite going to be first and second across the line.
Yeah, that looks like Koch, Shannon Koch, Izzy Harton, and Heather Fichtner. First 3 riders across the line grabbing maximum points there. 10-7, as Bill said when I was coming back from my government-mandated break. It's all about the points. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2 right there. If you lead a lap, you get a point. Start a race, you get a point.
Well, Lauren Zorner picking up 3 points for 4th, and Elizabeth Dixon squeaking in for the 5th place and 2 points.
Yeah, those first 2 riders that cross picking up those points, they're teammates of your overall leader with Lisa Ray, but got to be careful because Izzy Harden is sitting second in that overall competition, so she's going to start inching a little bit closer towards that overall lead. Lisa Ray with one of the best races she had when we were in LaGrange, and that's what put her into that orange leader's jersey. Looking to be able to hold on to that, which she has going through the races after that. Last couple races, it's been the breakaways. Greenville was a breakaway. Spartanburg was a breakaway. Will Suwanee be a breakaway?
Well, it certainly is pointing that way with the compass pointing towards a break. You got Higher Dose. Good story about Higher Dose we'll be talking about for the rest of the series, along with Izzy Harden, who, after talking to Richie, their team manager, he's like, we just missed it yesterday. And I think that's so incredible insight. He said we were in the right spot at the right times to make the right move, and all it takes is just one thing, a fly in the ointment, to make it all go sideways. And according to Richie, that's kind of the way it unfolded yesterday for Kingdom Elite.
Well, you have to wonder if some of the other teams are going to change up their tactics without Skylar Schneider here. Schneider, one of the fastest sprinters in the country, picking up a couple of wins in Greenville and Spartanburg. Sitting this one out tonight, so opening the door for someone else to stand on top of the podium.
You may think to yourself, well, since she's gone, that makes it better for other teams. And again, I'm going to refer back to Richie, of course. We were talking about Kingdom Elite. Said we love when Sky's here because it makes the racing a lot more aggressive and creates more opportunities for breakaways, which is exactly the way the Kingdom Elite likes to race.
Here comes an attack for Rebecca Lang, getting things going again. She's got the attention of one of our Kingdom Elite riders, quickly latching on. That's going to be Heidi Prederis getting on that train. Rebecca Lang been so aggressive the past couple races, and she was the last one to get across to that breakaway last night. A big effort to make it across, and well, it was a well-timed effort because once she made it, those three rode well clear of the group.
Yep, she went deep and dark to make it across to that breakaway. And she is a tough person to draft off of. When she goes, she gets so low that it's really a challenge, and it looks like everybody else saw that move, and they were like, nope, we're not fans of that move.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind, though, Rebecca Lang making that breakaway yesterday, picking up third place in Spartanburg, took her from sixth place overall, jumped all the way up to third.
Yeah, she's the one rider that's been a real fly in the ointment for the Kingdom Elite squad, riding for Winston-Salem. She's got her teammate Lauren Zorner, so two strong riders working together, but obviously at a little bit of a disadvantage. But I tell you, Lang really nickel and diming her way through the points, and she's only about 40 points out of second at the moment as she continues to try and drive this one on the front.
And she grabbed another point there, a sneaky point. And that's what she's going to do. She's going to play this game of grabbing a point here, grabbing a point there, and hopefully by the time we get back to where her team's hometown is, she has a shot at winning the overall. That would be a coup for Team Winston-Salem to win the overall in Winston-Salem.
How about another big thanks to our title sponsor today for the High Line Criterium, Gwinnett Sports Commission. They're here to help youth, collegiate, amateur, and professional athletic organizations host and plan their next sporting event. To learn more, visit GwinnettSportsCommission.com. And of course, our sprint sponsors, Purify IV, Climate Heroes, and Walmart.
There goes Dr. Sear taking a peek around. And this might be the gavel hitting the table here. The ruling and the judging is in, and Andrea Sear, excuse me, Doc. She's got her own practice in, I think it's Indy. Yep, so she's got her own practice, medical practice in Indianapolis, and she is looking to bring a holistic approach to coaching with athletes, and a lot of higher dose and a lot of the companies that support not only our practice but the race team are in that space.
Oh, looks like things coming all back together. What looked like it might be the start to something dangerous there on the front, getting sewn back together. And well, look who's back on the front. Rebecca Lang obviously feeling pretty feisty tonight, trying to drive this thing. From our vantage point, not getting a ton of help trying to split this thing up. I think Kingdom Elite riding fairly controlled right now on the front.
Goes back to that conversation that I had with the directors and the leaders at Kingdom Elite. It's like, we enjoy when there are other riders that can light this race up. So now, essentially what it's come down to, since Legion has lost a couple of their riders, it's like everybody's going to be looking around at Kingdom Elite to make the move, to chase it back, pretty much to dictate this race. Why? Because they have the talent, they have the firepower.
Talked about Rebecca Lang jumping up from 6th place up to 3rd place overall. Currently sitting about 70 points behind Izzy Harden. Izzy Harden picked up those 10 points on our first point sprint, but Lang now picking up 1 point at a time as she's led pretty much the last 3 or 4 laps. And if she can do a breakaway or be able to manage to be able to get away from Izzy Harden, she can move up into 2nd overall. Lisa Ray right now, your current overall Jackaroo leader, on the attack. 1,251 points in her pocket. Izzy Harden with 1,017. If the leader's going up the road, the alarm bell should be going off.
See our man Seba Alexander keeping his eye on things out there, trying to figure out what his tactics are going to be for his foundation in New York City boys tonight. A little breezy out there, Seba. Hope the boys are ready.
Look at that orange jersey. That's that fast downhill. They can pick up the speed, but very hard to be able to bring it back as Lisa Ray continues to be able to ride on the front. Coming out of Brooklyn, New York, coming out of Miami. Yeah, Lisa Ray pushing the pace, sitting on the wheel, though. I don't know if she got any help from Elizabeth Dixon. I'm not sure that rider in 2nd position, number 23, has done anything.
Yeah, because she was told not to do anything because their team leader, Andrea Sear, was not in that mood. And I did a pre-ride about 10 minutes ago, and I was just curious what the backstretch was like. And boy, oh boy, there is a massive tailwind over there, and it is a ripper. You don't even have to pedal.
I'll tell you one thing I noticed when the group came by, and we can see it continuing to split up. Lauren Zorner, the Winston-Salem rider, about 8 riders back. She's doing her best to sew it back together because Rebecca Lang was like 2/3 of the way back in the field after her earlier exploits put herself out of position trying to recover.
If it wasn't for Lauren Zorner, Rebecca Lang would not have been in that breakaway yesterday. No way. Lauren kept bringing it back, and she kept doing work, hard work, to try to drag it back, and she did all that, and then Rebecca Lang went at the right time, at the right moment to get across to Sky Schneider. So it was, even though you see that Rebecca Lang is 3rd overall, if it wasn't for Zorner, she would not be where she is, and that's where teamwork really pays off.
Looks like Andrea Sear taking up her spot at the front again, continuing to try and drive this pace. The longer it stays single file and fast, the more likely it is to start to snap. So Andrea knows that, so she's going to stay on that gas just a little bit longer here to see what happens.
Riders brought all back together right now, so that was a big move. You got to remember, for those last 3 laps, they have pushed themselves. So that heart rate has been elevated, lactic acid building up. Now they're trying to be able to recover a little bit. Riders in the back having a good chance to be able to connect back on, as we're going to see Kayla Garcia in that light blue jersey finally getting a chance to coast. Oh my gosh, how good a feeling that must be to finally be able to ease off the pedals.
One athlete we have not talked about, that's Heather Fisher. She's a dangerous property, but the past couple of days she just hasn't been at the right place at the right time here, so one would guess that she wants to be involved in today's festivities. So we're going to see if Heather Fisher, who's not in a trade team, what we call a kit. It's kind of an off color, black and a little sand color. Look for her to be active today as well.
Higher Dose Renova, that team in that multicolored jersey with the turquoise, has been controlling things pretty darn well. Making sure that they're in the break, making sure that they'll be able to stay in the front, riding on the front. That's exactly what that team is doing right now. So Higher Dose Renova, knowing they got a ringer with them with Andrea Sear. A great ride by her yesterday. As you can see them coming around. Look at that sweeping turn to the downhill. That's the tricky turn. Earlier, we had one of our lower categories, big crash in the final turn, and that was only with a group of 4 as we have the attacks on the downhill.
Every year, Jack Crew innovates. Working with Jack Crew has been so incredible for Project Echelon over these last years. As a team focused on aerodynamics and the speed of racing increases every year, not only do they take our feedback, they use and provide us real opportunities to test their products. That includes validating their top-of-the-line XPO fabric in the wind tunnel and real-time data using professional riders.
XPO race suits is really at the cutting edge of anything in the market right now. Just class-leading aerodynamics, fit, comfort. I've just been really impressed with it so far.
Want to thank the city of Suwanee, of course, our good friends at Gwinnett, here on the outskirts of Atlanta. There goes your lead moto, taking another right-hand turn. And here comes your field. Nobody's been able to crack this thing open, but the steady state of Team Winston-Salem, Higher Dose, Legion, and of course our team from Kingdom Elite.
Yeah, you can tell by the way the riders are now kind of all across the road from left to right that the pace has come off just a little bit after that flurry of activity. And of course, you all feel it out there as much as we do on the stage. That wind is starting to pick up, become a little bit more of a factor as well. Everywhere around this course, the riders are getting buffeted from the left, from the right, from head on, from behind, with that wind making it that much more challenging. Hey, coming up, remember we talked about those point sprints. Well, we are coming up on the halfway point of our women's pro race. That means we're going to be ringing the bell again for an opportunity for the first 5 riders across the line to get some valuable sprint points. That's coming up when they come around this next time.
Looks like Frankie's procured himself a couple of willing bell ringers. Biggest job of the day is ringing that bell for sprint points. And if you want to know where the toughest and fastest part of the course is, head right over there to the top of the hill. And man, that wind is ripping over there. I mean, it's all over the whole course, but you don't realize how challenging this course becomes because they're getting wind coming from every direction. And it's a big headwind here, strangely enough, at the finish line. And we're gonna ring the bell. Attention riders, sprint points on the next lap. Sprint points on the next lap. Sprint points. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2. Those are your sprint points coming up next.
Well, you can see Izzy Harden right up in position along with United Cycling rider Jade Stevens. Those two riders trying to put themselves in a good spot to capitalize on the ability to get points. Remember, Harden currently second overall right now, so she would love to get her hands on a few more points. Maybe not so much to try and catch her teammate Lisa Ray, the leader, but to try and get a buffer over Rebecca Lang, who's only a handful of points behind her in third. So,
hey,
very important sprint.
Frankie, can you turn around? Do you think they've got the strength and stamina to go back-to-back with money? Yeah. All right, we're going to head back to the well. We're going to do something that we rarely do. We're going to go point sprint and then a money sprint on the back end of it. So what we're essentially doing is taking the stick to the hornet's nest. We're going to have these bees flying everywhere in a second.
Well, here we go, setting up for our second point sprint of the night. One rider down up there on the top of the course. That looks like it might be Jade Stevens. Can't quite get our eye on that, but here comes our lead moto into sight. I see Winston-Salem on the front. Lauren Zorner going to try and roll some points.
All right, you guys, 3 places, cash, 250, 150, and 100. Cash on the next lap, 3 places deep. 250, 150, and 100. Not much acceleration for those points, that's for sure.
Well, again, I think that wind really a factor there as we had Harden and Zorner in there getting points. Harden taking top place, 10 points. Lauren Zorner with 7. And we also had Liz Dixon, Natalie Franco getting in on the action as well.
It's interesting how none of the women stood up out of the saddle and tried to jump. Looks like a re-rack of the race, and we had at the very front end a little dust up. Looks like everybody's no worse for the wear. But nobody sprinted for that, and I probably would have taken a look at it and see what kind of gear I would need for the sprint.
Well, on the heels of that, they're going to be sprinting again, this time for some cold, hard cash on the line for our riders. 3-place preem for cash coming up right now. Well, that'll do wonders to keep this thing spicy and maybe offer some potential splits at the front of the group. Let's see who wants to pocket a little bit of coin here in Suwanee.
Somebody's launching from a good bit away, and here they come. This is for that money. Zorner's got herself a massive jump here. 250 goes to Winston-Salem, 150 goes to Higher Dose, and 100 goes to Kingdom Elite.
Andrea Sear picking up second, and Izzy Harden picking up third on that cash cream sprint.
And why would I say it goes to Kingdom Elite, Winston-Salem, and Higher Dose? It's because they split the money. More than likely, they split the money. So if a team's got 3 riders and they win $300, they split it $100 apiece.
Teamwork makes the dream work out there in bike racing. Hard to win at this elite professional level without a little bit of help from some of your friends. Andreas here still in that front spot. We've got, I believe that's another one of our Kingdom riders on the front. Zorner in the back. Lisa Ray in the orange jersey. Remember, Lisa Ray actually rides on the team with the purple Kingdom Elite jerseys, but she's in that orange Jack Rue Leaders jersey, so looks a little bit different from the rest of the group, but she's up there near the front end as well. And
all right, there goes Lisa. First through the line out of St. Petersburg, Russia. Now lives in Brooklyn, New York. Boy, we're talking about a hard place to train.
I tell you what, Brooklyn actually a great place to train. You got Prospect Park. It's
I forgot about Prospect Park.
Yeah, 3-mile circuit. A little bit of climb in there. Central Park just across the bridge in Manhattan. And, of course, the weekend rides They all head north along the Hudson up toward Nyack for those infamous rides.
Yeah, and everybody thinks Central Park is flat. No, it's not.
That's a tough little course in that park. Many times they've hosted the National Road Championships back in the 70s and 80s, and they still have an amazingly vibrant racing scene all season long in Central Park and Prospect Park.
That's Shannon Koch, Kingdom Elite on the attack. You got to remember the last couple laps have been very hard. Obviously, they didn't really go for the point sprint, but they actually, the speed picked up, and they definitely went for that sprint. So that means that there's a big acceleration. A lot of riders had to be able to dig deep to be able to keep up with that acceleration. So now's the time to be able to do the counterattack, and that's exactly what Shannon Koch is doing. Andrea Sear, I believe, has made that split. That's Alexia Ramirez in the white jersey. And your overall USA crit, Lisa Ray with a glove glance behind her shoulder. Winston-Salem trying to be able to bring it back. They don't want to be left out.
Lauren Zorner punching the clock and going back to work for her teammate Rebecca Lang. And I'll tell you what, Rebecca Lang is about 7 riders from the back, and this is the second or third time already tonight that when it's been getting a little hot at the front, she's found herself a little bit out of position, putting a little more work than maybe Lauren Zorner wants to have on her shoulders.
Anytime you see a breakaway that does not include a red and green rider, more than likely it'd be Rebecca Lang. If she's not there, it's all up to Lauren Zerner to drag the breakaway back. Her job is to protect and ultimately help with the success of Rebecca Lang.
Yeah, looking at my start sheet, there's only 2 riders from Winston-Salem that are here, so not a lot of options. You know, Lang had gone so hard in the beginning, she has to have some time to recover, but the race continues. But that's a tough one for Zorner because she did that big sprint and now she had to do the big chase, and she did her job. She welded it back for Zorner, but Lang is still not moved up. So Winston-Salem, are they in a little bit of trouble? I mean, they do have Zorner in the front, but right now that group's starting to be able to sit up. Look at them side by side. Look at the bunch. They're not going flat out. It's not in a single file line. A little bit of tactics and strategy taking place right now.
Yeah, a little too many riders at that front split there, so it all comes back together. Ideally, you want a breakaway group of 3, 4, maybe 5 riders, and again, ideally, all different teams represented so that there's a common interest in keeping things rolling. Once you get too many riders up there, there's always somebody looking for the free ride, doesn't want to contribute. Maybe their team has a different tactical plan that they'd like to see happen, so then things start to get a little disconnected up there. Riders not pulling, riders looking around, and the communication goes straight out the window.
Wind continues to be able to pick up also, and as Bill was just talking about, the more windy it gets, the harder it is to go off by yourself, and very difficult. You save about 30% of your energy riding behind the other rider. Sitting in that draft, you can save a lot of energy. My name's Frank Andreu, alongside me, Chad Andrews and Bill Elliston, right here at the Suwanee High Line Criterium, our USA Crit Race number 6.
The shadows are starting to descend, and there are gaps starting to open up. Fatigue is starting to become a real thing. 3 days of hard racing.
Yeah, starting off in Greenville at a very technical course, then went to Spartanburg at that long, gradual uphill. And now here in Suwanee. Our finals are going to be going to Winston-Salem in 2 weeks, so right now, riders definitely don't want to make a mistake. As we have another attack right now going around the outside, a little glance over her shoulder as Dr. Sear from Higher Dose Renova continues to try to be able to break this race apart. I don't think Andrea Sear wants a group sprint.
Nope. She fancies a breakaway. That's her strength. That's what her success rate is. She can sprint in a smaller group for sure, but if you want to match her up against some of the top sprinters on our field, that's not her bag.
It'll look like Natalie Franco from the One Heart Racing Nashville squad trying to button things up there, reacting quick to Andrea Sears' move. Kingdom Elite now in the mix. And, of course, Lauren Zorner back there in the third wheel, continuing to do her job for Lang. And at some point, she's got to wonder, maybe Rebecca doesn't quite have the legs tonight. That's why she's finding herself repeatedly out of position.
Zorner in that third wheel with the red and green. Right behind her is Alexia Ramirez. She's by herself. She doesn't have any teammates to ride her for Legion of Los Angeles. Kingdom Elite is the team with the most representation of riders. United has a pretty good turnout here with the light blue jerseys as well. Riders making their way in, going to be seeing 15 laps to go. Riders, 15 to go, 15 to go. Lap cards are showing 15 laps to go. 15 laps to go, 15. The wind, look at the destruction from that last lap. There are gaps everywhere.
And I'm
Gwinnett Sports Commission bringing us the High Line Criterium. It's the second year of the event as GST drives the economic development and growth in Gwinnett County as a leading site for sports events from youth to college to professional. And these are our pro women on course right now. 60 minutes of racing, and we are down to 14 laps to go.
thank you to our good friends at Walmart.
Well, look at them all spread out across the road. It's a truce for maybe only the second time tonight. That wind obviously getting to these riders. They've been very aggressive. A couple of good moves, but nothing has snapped just yet. But as I say that, going up the left side, Rebecca Lang now trying to make a move. So maybe this is all part of the Winston-Salem game plan.
Yeah, I mean, Zorner is covering everything, and then Rebecca, when the moment is right and there's relaxation, she attacks. Now, there's only so many times she can do this. So eventually she needs to get up the road and have other teams that are represented with her. She is not going to survive by herself. She'll get chased down by Kingdom Elite or One Heart, United, you name it. They'll all chase her down. So what she's hoping to do is draw out the other teams with similar abilities to her and hopefully stay away and get the win. Because she keeps knocking, but the door will not open.
Lang right now just riding on the front, riding a little bit of tempo, about 60% effort, just kind of keeping an eye on things. And she's trying to make sure she's in the front. They're going to come around, they're going to get on that downhill. Everybody's going to start coasting, and you're going to see the group start to bunch up again. Remember, when you're in the back, you're saving that energy. You get a little bit of that slingshot effect, and so they're all going to start spreading out across the road. They're all waiting for somebody else to do the work. 13 laps to go, 13-13.
Our overall leader, front and center, is now Kingdom Elite, throwing their hat back in the ring, going up that left side as they make that first right turn. Kind of a soft right turn, then it bends back to the left as they head into the upper portion of the course. And seems like a little bit of a headwind down here, so maybe a little bit more of a tailwind on the back straight. So trying to get a jump start to come out of that turn with a head of steam.
Rut-row, it looks like we've got Higher Dose and Kingdom Elite in a big gap.
Oh, that is a good bit of real estate right now. So two riders very quickly moving clear. That's going to be Liz Dixon from the Higher Dose squad on the back right now.
Heidi Praderis, I think it looks like her as well.
The last two races, Heidi Praderis has been used to be able to lure the riders out. She's gone super hard for a few laps and then ended up getting absorbed back into the group, but it caused a lot of chaos. So Heidi Praderis, she's a good sprinter. She's fast. If she can stay in the front and stay in the group, she will be one of the favorites. Pradaris coming out of Cuba right now, pushing the pace here in Suwanee.
Yeah, with this kind of speed and this kind of wind, this might cause a field split.
So you've got Dixon and Pradaris, then you've got United, Andrea Sear, and we've also got one of our riders from One Heart. That's Elizabeth Castano up there in the mix.
Molly Roberts from United got up there also as well in that light blue jersey, but that was a hard lap right there. So riders now trying to be able to catch their breath and see what's going to happen. They're all eyeing each other. Remember, these riders have been racing against each other, some of them for many years, but if not, even if it's just for this series, they've seen what they're capable of. They know who the sprinter is. They know who the time trialist is. They know who's going good. They know who to watch out for, and that's why you see them riding and looking behind them a good amount of times, trying to be able to see where these other riders are, and they don't want to get caught by surprise by a big attack from one of the good time trialists, like a Shannon Koch or a Rebecca Lang. Pradaris going number 2. Didn't like what happened on her attack number 1, so going for attack number 2.
Yeah, sometimes that's what it takes is back-to-back attacks. You basically counterattack your own move to try and keep that pace high. You never know when that elastic is going to snap, and that's part of what Frankie's just talking about, looking around, keeping your eye on the competition, and trying to find those little tells in their body language when they might be hurting just a little bit. And that's when you got to dig in and keep turning the screws just a little bit more to try and establish a little bit of a gap.
And there's Lisa Ray. She's wearing orange, but underneath that is her purple kit of Kingdom Elite.
Got to be able to watch out for that rider in the white jersey as well, Alexi Ramirez, that national champion from Trinidad and Tobago. She doesn't have any teammates, but she's been marking the moves, and you got to remember, the 3 riders that went away yesterday in Spartanburg, Alexi Ramirez was second in the field sprint, so she did a lot of work early on. She recovered from that. She does have a good sprint coming off of that track background. That's her sitting right now in about 4th wheel in that white Pan American Champions jersey.
Lisa's taking a full lap pull. Higher Dose is next, followed by Team Winston-Salem. Right there is Kingdom Elite and Legion of Los Angeles. Those are the 3 teams. Higher Dose is in like the green and the maroon. A different color green, like a brilliant green and red for Team Winston-Salem. Kingdom Elite, we've talked about them in the purple. And Legion has got 1 rider. Normally they wear like a black color, but today, because the Pan American champion is riding in it, she is in the white with red and black banding.
That's Izzy Harden sitting in second position, second in your overall standings. Remember, right now, your top 3 in the overall standings is Izzy. No, because Pradaris lost. Yesterday, before going to Spartanburg, Kingdom Elite occupied all top 3 positions in the overall of the USA Crit Series. But again, yesterday, because of Rebecca Lang, she jumped up into 3rd, bumping Pradaris a little bit further down. So right now, Kingdom Elite, the riders in the purple jersey, they occupy 1st and 2nd in our overall. And then Rebecca Lang in that green and red is occupying that 3rd spot.
I'll tell you what, One Heart Racing in Nashville doing a good job to be consistent. They're now in 4th and 5th on the overall, courtesy of Andrea Cantu and Elizabeth Castano having some good rides.
Yeah, both of those riders come from a track background, very good track, so they should be actually relevant and a pretty good sprinter at the end if it stays together as well because of their track experience. Downhill sprint, though, how different is that compared to a flat sprint?
I mean, look, downhill sprint, it's best to start it a little bit earlier, keep that high speed, that momentum, and those track riders, they're going to have amazing leg speed, more so than most of your normal Criterium riders. I think it might be actually an advantage for the track riders on this particular finish.
Well, they're barrier to barrier. There goes an attack on the left-hand side. That looks like Coke hitting out right there for Kingdom Elite, forcing everybody else to be like, we're not going to let you sit around and not do anything. So now Higher Dose is in the chase mode.
Well, starting to wind things down here. We're into the single digits on the lap counter. They saw 9 laps to go, so the
For a
riders.
second, I thought you were going to say in temperature. It sure feels like it.
Yeah, not we could interchange those two, I think. So Koch drawing a couple of riders clear right now. Looks like she's got Lang, another one of the Kingdom riders, and maybe one of our One Heart Nashville riders. 4 riders now. That's actually a pretty substantial gap,
Yeah.
though. This is a game-changing maneuver here late in the race, and we'll look who's back on the front.
She has to. She cracked a fistful of brake on that one for sure.
Yeah, coming in just a little hot around that left-hander that puts him up that little kicker to the very top of the course. Actually, that's going to be Sear, I believe. That's certainly one of the higher dose riders in second position. So, yeah, Rebecca Lang again coming through in about 10th position there we see her. So, very quick reaction by Zorner to try and rein this thing in before it gets out of control.
Yeah, it was quickly becoming out of hand. As Zorner looks back, we've got an interesting mix of racers here, and Sears getting a free ride up from Zorner. And now everybody wants to be a part of the celebration.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the higher dose rider, number 23, that's Liz Dixon. She's been riding really well tonight, and she's been in just about every split tonight. We've seen that number pop up. So very, very good ride. You wonder if she just got good legs and riding for her own result, or is she kind of covering things to try and get Andrea?
Is she the Zorner of higher dose?
Yeah, but how many times can Lauren Zorner keep bringing back
She did it yesterday.
at 25 miles an hour?
Just when you think Lauren's done, she comes by and gives you a wink and a smile. It's like, how is she doing that?
We're starting to be able to wind down. Riders are going to be seeing 7 laps to go. It's going to be 7 laps to go when they come through. So the fatigue is starting to set in, not only from today, but you got to remember they raced the last 2 days as well, and it's been very hard racing. Yesterday doing about 30 miles worth of racing. Day before pretty much the same. Today we're going by time and 60 minutes of racing, and they're gonna cover about 25 to 7 miles in that 1 hour. Big split in the group right now. Look at it. We got riders reacting all out, trying to be able to go across the gap. A lead group of 10 forming.
That's going to be Sarah Vladimirova from Full Send Racing laying down the law. That's a name we've not talked about the last couple of days.
She's full send right now, that's for sure.
Yeah, you can do that like once, and then you're going to be done. I mean, if somebody goes again, it's going to be very hard to repeat that. One rider riding really good out there is Flor Espiritu Santo from 1K Flips Racing. She's been reacting to a couple of situations and going across a couple of gaps, so gonna watch out for her. She's a little bit more of the unknown, as Espiritu Santo has been actually riding really well. And that's her in the red jersey with the blue shorts, right now sitting about 10th position.
And you can see on the live stream, that is the actual current conditions, but I think it's telling a big lie. That 15-mile-per-hour wind is steady, but there are gusts up to 25 and 30. So if you're watching on the live stream or you're here on the phone, at the top of the course, you can look at the trees and you can look at the flags. They are all starched. All right, attention riders, point sprint. Point sprint on the next lap. 10, 7, 5, 3, and 2 for the first 5 riders that come across the line on the next lap.
Well, that's our final point sprint of the evening. We had the first one at 5 laps in. Then we have our halfway sprint. This is the last chance for riders to get those couple of points at mid-race, and we've seen Hardin really making a point to try and get in on those sprints. Obviously, we've seen Zorner getting in on a few of those as well, so we'll see what that situation here as we get closer and closer to the tail end of the race. And one of the great things about the timing of this final point sprint, you know, it 6 laps to go, ringing the bell, sprinting on 5 to go. You know, some riders are thinking about that point sprint. A lot of riders are also thinking about the finish of the race, so it's a good opportunity to catch some people off guard and maybe find an opening for a last-ditch counterattack.
Rebecca Lang riding in the front right now. I think she wants those 10 points. Again, only sitting about 70 points back from second. Izzy Harden, second overall. She'll pick up another 10 points. That'll bring her a little bit closer, only being about 60 points. Remember, at the finish, 200 for the winner, 190, 180, 170. So the big points are at the finish. These are just little pick-me-up points.
I think Lauren Zorn is too far back. She needs to be there to protect her teammate and Rebecca Lang in the event that Rebecca can't take points.
Lang's being challenged at the line, and we're going to go to the...
She gets 10, but I'm not positive. It's been close.
We're going to go to the video for that, but Izzy Harden realizes she knows who the threat is. Harden second overall, Lang third overall, and Rebecca Lang just getting picked at the line.
Yep, just beaten by Izzy Harden, and that's got to be frustrating. You spend that energy, you think you've got it, and all of a sudden the person that's just ahead of you grabs more points.
Well, picking up 5 points for third, Castano getting in there. We also saw Andrea Sear picking up fifth place points, and Liz Dixon getting that fourth place point.
And I believe Andrea Cantu is the one that's sitting, I think, fifth in our overall standings. Bill, you got it in front of you. Is Cantu fifth in the overall?
Yeah, taking a look. Cantu fourth, actually, overall. Castano, her teammate, is fifth.
So Perderas dropped to fifth?
Perderas dropped to sixth.
So Perderas had a huge drop from yesterday, not getting any points. And so both of those One Heart Racing riders are up there in that overall standing. So the finish could play out very well for them. They have the light blue jerseys. Hispanic Alliance Racing Team, One Heart, light blue jerseys, two of them. Will they help each other? Are they going to be every man for themselves? As we're going to find out coming up on 4 laps to go.
Well, nobody's going to pull through on Lang. It looks like Kingdom Elite's like, nope, we are not going to be pulling through. You got to do your work. And that's what Izzy Hart. Izzy just pretty much just shut that down. Much to the dismay of Rebecca Lang.
You can see some of the teams starting to gather all their riders near the front. There was 3 Kingdom Elite riders up there. One Heart putting a couple riders near the front as well. As the closer we get to the finish, the more positioning becomes a major, major factor with the wind out there on the course. You'd probably rather be in position a little sooner rather than wait till later. Well, one of our Piedmont riders showing themselves on the front right now. The Shannon Koch in a second position. I believe that might be Perderas up there in third.
Yeah, as we're seeing Piedmont University, I'd like to be able to wish Erica Carney a speedy recovery also from her crash yesterday.
Yeah, hopefully she's doing better. She took a big, big hit yesterday. Hey, guys, 3 laps left to go. How are you guys going to settle this? Piedmont's on the front, followed by Kingdom Elite, followed by Higher Dose.
Well, we might be done with the point sprints for the night, but I think we've got a little extra cash overflow that we need to get rid of, huh?
Yep. Accounting found some extra cash. Compliments of Gwinnett and Suwanee. We're going to offer up what we call a gambler preem. And a gambler preem is essentially saying from the promoters and from the announcers, we're going to throw a little twist on this. We're going to ring the bell with 2 to go. It's all about the cash. So the reason why we call it a gambler, you're going to gamble that you're going to get the money and have enough energy to recover and get the race win. How often does that happen? Never. Well, unless a person's in a breakaway.
All right, now Piedmont looks like they're still on the front. I believe that's Emma Frost. So Emma Frost, the lone Piedmont rider left in the race. Erica Carney, as we alluded to, unfortunately a non-starter tonight because of her crash last night in Spartanburg. I'm sure she's home tuning in and cheering on her teammate there. making their way down to the finish line. They are going to see 2 laps to go, but more importantly, we are going to ring that bell for a Gambler's Preem. Attention, riders, Gambler Preem, 2 laps to go.
We are tossing out some Suwanee cash. So this is for real hard green cash. Whoever gets it, I'm just going to go on and say it, they're not going to win the race.
Well, Piedmont's still on the front with Frost. It looks like Kingdom Elite content to let that situation unfold. They're thinking a little bit more about the final lap, the final sprint there. We've got Koch, we've got Frederis, now Lang in the red and green coming up the outside with her teammate, Lauren Zorner. We'll see if they want to get in on the cash or if they're just trying to bum rush the front to get set up for that bell lap. We will let you know when to ring the bell. It's going to be real soon here as they're going to be getting 1 to go.
Well, interesting. Rebecca Lang is now in front of Zorner, so that's an interesting tactic. Let's see who's got a better ring. Cavedo? I'll be curious to see how that bell goes.
Hey, Suwanee, if you're around, now's your time to make your way down to the barriers. We're getting ready for 1 lap to go.
Wow. Rebecca is being fearless in this. And now the Saturn sit up from Zorner.
What a tactical move right
Ring
there.
the bell. Ring the bell.
1 to go. 1 to go. 1 to go. 1 to go. Rebecca Lang making a daredevil attack on the bell into the final lap.
Oh, man, if they'd have just waited just a little bit to do that, that would have been perfect. But she's been nabbed back, pinned back by Izzy Harden. That's a big bullet that Lang just spent.
Well, I'll tell you what, Lang may well prove a lead out. Zorner very well positioned right now. You see Kingdom Elite trying to get into the picture. You see Lisa Ray coming along the outside. There's Andrea Sear now making a little bit of a jump to hold her position as well.
Wow, it is a tussle at the front. The colors are all together. Normally you would wait, Bill, to see a team take control, and now you've got it. Kingdom Elite is trying to lead out Izzy Harden.
So Shannon Koch now on the front, the diesel engine, the ultimate team worker for Kingdom Elite. This is her last big pull of the night. She's going to lead this one into the final turn. We are about to see a wonderful sprint finish here in Suwanee. They are now on the home straight.
It is so important to get dropped off late. This headwind is prodigious. Do not go early. Here they come. Sears up the middle. We've got Sear dropping off. Now here comes up on the left. It is going to be One Heart's going to grab the W. Castagno with the win. The chicken has gone into the fox coop.
Well, I'll tell you what, Frankie, you called that one a couple laps ago, bringing up the track experience of those riders from the One Heart Racing squad. And just like that, Elizabeth Castagno taking a big win along the right side of the fence there for One Heart Racing, Nashville local cycling.
Man, that's a track racer's dream right there between Castagno, Ramirez, and Espiritu Santos. What a big, big way to finish off the day and the week for One Heart. Wow, what a cagey move. And remember, Frankie and I and Bill, we call the result as we see it, but that is by no means official. We actually have what we call a protest period. Look clean, but we have to go through the process here.
Coming up next is going to be our pro men as we are 1 minute from our call-ups. 1 minute to our pro men call-ups. Hey, Dennis, congratulations. Dennis Ramirez is the owner of that One Heart cycling team where their rider just won with an incredible sprint. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to be able to start off with our call-ups for our pro men. Riders all lined up in our starting gate, waiting as we're going to do our rider introductions. We're going to start off coming out of Orfield, Pennsylvania. Riding for Bike Works, presented by Fred Beans. Coming off a 16th place at Greenville. And he got a 14th place in the chaos of the sprint in Spartanburg, Colin Fitzgerald.
This rider has been a token of top 20s. Winston-Salem race team, 13th overall out of Lynchburg, PA. Please welcome Caleb Maxim.
Coming out of Milligan College, Tennessee. You know what collegiate team he raced for? That was Milligan. Now racing in the pro division with the racing division. The young 20-year-old Julian Aspiecha.
Our next rider hails from the capital of North Carolina, Raleigh, NC. Racing for New Type, please welcome Aaron Whitman.
Finishing up a 3rd place in Greenville. Your current under 23 National Criterium champion. Coming out of California with Cadence, presented by Waldo, Luke Fetzer.
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, he is out of the Dominican Republic, racing for One Heart. Please welcome Van Hull Cruz Garcia.
This young 18-year-old for the very first time racing in the U.S. Coming free as a track specialist. Coming all the way from Scotland, Evan Marsh.
Our next athlete, he lit it up last night. Spartanburg was his, getting a W. He races for Foundation. He's out of Colombia. Please welcome Jordan Para.
Coming off a third place last night, he's wearing your stars and stripes because he is your professional Criterium National Champion. Riding for Cadence, Lucas Burgoyne.
Well, 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 we do have a special guest in our midst, ladies and gentlemen. Last year, the 21-year-old got third, currently residing in third overall. Where's he from? Suwanee, Georgia. Please welcome Clip Family Drifters, Preston I.
Up until this point, we have had 5 USA Crit races. This next rider has won 3 of those races. He rides for Foundation, coming out of Argentina, Marcos the Magician Mendez.
Our next call-up, ladies and gentlemen, is probably one of the most indefatigable racers that we have. He's currently residing in the overall leader's jersey. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lionel Rodriguez.
In 2025, we came to Suwanee for the very first time. Coming out of Colorado, riding for Cadence, he is your defending champion. Please welcome Danny Summerhill.
Alrighty, if we could please remove the white tape, yellow tape.
Pro Men, welcome. How's everybody doing? 3 days of racing. Hopefully the fatigue hasn't set in right now. You guys are getting ready for 70 minutes of racing. 70 minutes of racing. Free laps are over with 6 laps to go. Neutral service is behind you on the right-hand side. And again, free laps over with 6 laps to go. You know the drill. Immediately afterwards, we'll do your podium top 3 right here on the street, as we're waiting for final confirmation from our officials and our timers, and then we're going to get you guys going.
All right, we've got the green light from our chief official. All right, so we've got our timers, our scores. Hey, Suwanee up at the high line and down here at the start line. Are you ready? What about you guys? I didn't hear a peep from the high line. What about you guys up on the truss? D-. We're going to get racing. Maybe you can be loud during the race. All right, gentlemen, we're going to be going in 3, 2, 1. Preem on the first lap. Cash Preem on the first lap. Preem on the first lap. Our pro men are now off. Music, please. Well, well, well. This is a bit of nepotism as Suwanee's own gets the first cash cream.
That's your local hometown rider in a hometown race coming out of right here in Suwanee. Preston I picking up cream number 1 as our riders are making their way through. Now, a couple things to watch for. Watch the shape of the group as it's going to be in a single file line, or is it going to bunch up? You saw in the women's race, sometimes it got single file, which means they're going extremely hard. Other times, when they slow down, it bunches up. Everybody trying to recover. They're going to average, probably by the end of this race, they're going to have an average speed of 28 to 29 miles an hour as they're tackling this 1 kilometer course. Hey, as a reminder, pro women, go get your water. Smart water. Looking for something to drink, all registered riders can go and get a water to help them recover. Or anybody who's not racing, head on over to Stillfire as they're still serving up the beer on a beautiful night here in Suwanee.
Yep, the Peach State Light Lager, the Orange Diva, which is a blood orange wit, the Glory Haze. Man, that's right in my wheelhouse. The Hazy and the Pub Crawler Amber Ale. Single file, it looks like we've got Leonel grabbing a point there. Sneaky little move by grabbing 1 single point. Remember, if you lead the lap, you get a point.
Yeah, sitting right behind him was Jordan Parra following up. That's the winner. Very good sprinter. This is a great course for Jordan Parra to try to be able to win again today, but I think Marcos Mendez, the way he's been going, he has the most points, and he's further up in the overall ranking. So I think they're going to plan on trying to be able to take over that overall leader's jersey off of Leonel Rodriguez today. And to do that, they need Marcos Mendez to be able to win.
Yeah, he is going to be attacked, I think, relentlessly by Foundation and the other teams. It's because he has no teammates, and it would be a travesty for the other teams for a rider with no teammates to come away and win the overall USACRITS series.
Danny Summerhill riding on the front right now, talking to the radio saying, hey, where are the rest of the teammates? They were disappointed with the 3rd place last year. I mean, it's a great result. Lucas Burgoyne with that crazy sprint finishing up in 3rd. Foundation going 1 and 2. Brian Gomez, one of the strongest riders in the race, 2nd in Greenville, 2nd in Spartanburg, as your overall leader picking up a point a lap right now, riding on the front.
Well, things continuing to heat up at the front. Here's our Scottish cycling riders laying down the law just a little bit. Danny Summerhill, 4th wheel, covering that move for his Caton Cyclery presented by Waldo Racing Squad. Man, look at the damage being done. These riders single file, and every so often you can see a little bit of daylight between a rider's back wheel and the next rider's front wheel. And that is not by design. There's a lot of riders now having a little bit of a hard time out there with the wind, and also it's getting a little chilly out there as well. These riders have been accustomed to some pretty comfortable conditions the past few days, so those cooler temperatures along with that wind starting to play games out there as the pace staying very, very hot. We've got Rodriguez on the front. Foundation getting right in the mix to try and keep this pace as high as they can. They've been the dominant team so far in the series. That was Brian Gomez, who just made a big move to get himself into the front. Well, just like the women's race, we've got 3-point sprints throughout the night tonight. And that first one, we're going to ring that bell as they come through this time. So here comes our riders. We're going to go ahead and ring that bell for a point sprint. Ring the bell for the point sprint. Ring the bell. There we go. Point sprint on the next lap. Rodriguez, Summerhill, all up at the front of the mix. Also looking like we've got Marcos Mendez trying to get his nose up there as well. Mendez currently sitting second overall, and he's only about 75 or so points behind Rodriguez. Preston I, the local guy, only about 13 points behind Mendez in third. Brian Gomez a further 7 points behind Preston. So our top four very, very tightly bunched right now in terms of the overall standing. So that means every single point is going to matter out here in terms of coming across that line and leading the laps, as well as throughout our 3-point sprints throughout the evening. Look like Julian Azpatia from the racing division, presented by Pace Coaching, putting himself in the mix there as well. Rodriguez taking that inside line into the final turn. We'll see who's going to get themselves the first handful of points here tonight in the 2026 High Line Criterium. That's going to be all Leonel Rodriguez, Marcos Mendez getting top points, Summerhill and Gomez, I believe, in that order. So Rodriguez, Mendez, Summerhill, Brian Gomez picking up 3 points for fourth, and Mateo Garcia picking up 2 points for fifth place. Well, I tell you what, we talked earlier in the day that this course was maybe more of a sprint course versus a breakaway course, but I think some factors are aligning to maybe tweak that prediction here tonight. I think that wind and the temperature, and obviously a little bit of a crash here as we see riders coming into the pit.
A lot of riders coming into the pit having a little bit of difficulty out there. Looks like Cade Bickmore from Cadence and a couple of other riders in the front. That's why, you know, the advantage of riding in the front, being able to stay out of trouble. And we only had a couple other crashes in all of our other categories, and so far we've already seen 3 or 4 crashes in our pro min, and part of it's because the speed is a bit higher. As Leonel Rodriguez coming up to the front again in that orange Jack Crew leaders jersey. Lucas Burgoyne paying attention near the front. Other riders coming out of the pit. There's a group of 6 that are going to be able to slot themselves back in. Single file. The front group able to sit up, able to recover, but in the back, if you're 20 back, you are still putting out a lot of power to be able to keep up with these riders. A little bit twisty course. You can get cut off and pitched off at certain parts of the course, but they're gradually on the uphill. And again, the wind continues to blow. You can't tell on the TV, but gusty wind, a steady wind, making it very difficult for what's happening out there on the course.
All right, here comes our lead motorcycle. We've got some riders ready to reintegrate. Hey, field, stay to your left. Stay to your left. We've got riders coming out of the pit. Please stay to your left into the field so our riders can reintegrate as safely as possible.
Riders coming out of the pit sprinting as fast as they can to get up to about 28 miles an hour to rejoin with the group. And in the front, riders are attacking at 28 miles an hour. Keeping it going, it's the foundation. The red and white jerseys on the move once again. Couple glances over the shoulder, and it might be Clever Martinez that's in that front group right now. Gonna get a better look at him once he comes around. So the light blue jersey, One Heart Racing, finds themselves on the front. Looks like that might be Summerhill sitting in fourth. Luke Fetzer trying to be able to bring it back with cadence as well. This is probably going to come back together. It's only about a gap of about 2 seconds, but riders are trying to be able to break it. Stay to your left, stay left, stay left.
There is a lot of looking around and a lot of people in and out of the pits. I noticed when I went to go do some surveying about where the course is the toughest. This course is a lot harder than it was last year. This year, you've got a tailwind on the backside, which you would think that would be easier. It's not. That makes it hard. And then coming to the finish line is a headwind.
Sun gradually starting to go down. The shadows are getting longer. Temperature's getting cooler. The clear glasses are coming out. Riders starting to be able to take some gels and energy again. Many of them, by now, used to racing at dinner time. USACRITS Series is all about twilight criteriums, and that's exactly what we're doing here in Suwanee.
And you may ask yourself, Frank, you and I and Bill are a testament to that. The toughest part for a pro female and male racer in this series is getting to sleep. You're so wired, and you drive to your hotel, and then you just sit there in bed and stare at the ceiling. That's kind of the way it feels. And Mendez, wow, he is butter. I mean, he just slides through spots that you just don't see.
Yeah, but Gomez.
Every year, Jack Crew innovates. Working with Jack Crew has been so incredible for Project Echelon over these last years. As a team focused on aerodynamics and the speed of racing increases every year, not only do they take our feedback, they use and provide us real opportunities to test their products. That includes validating their top-of-the-line XPO fabric in the wind tunnel and real-time data using professional riders.
XPO race suits is really at the cutting edge of anything in the market right now. Just class-leading aerodynamics, fit, comfort. I've just been really impressed with it so far.
Well, single file seems to be the theme of the night so far. There's been no let up here in our pro men's field. A couple riders giving it the old try here off the front. And Foundation getting right back after it. That's going to be Mendez and Summerhill punching the clock and going to work. And, well, Mendez, he's currently in second overall. And Danny Summerhill currently in 12th overall. Last night, we talked so much about both the Foundation team and the Cadence Cyclery presented by Waldo Racing Team, and how it became so evident very early in the race that both teams were looking for a field sprint. They were doing what we called that cover and kill tactical approach. Neither team riding very aggressive, but if anyone else was aggressive, they were quick to react, quick to follow the wheel, but then kind of sit up and not really force the pace, because the goal that both teams had in mind last night was letting it come down to a big field sprint. Now, the first thing we noticed was Cadence kind of doing that, right? They were riding the front. They were not all of them together, but Bickmore and Summerhill doing, and Fetzer really, a lot of time on the front, kind of covering moves, but not riding aggressive. So we knew right away that they wanted a sprint for going, and then Foundation kind of followed suit and did the same thing. Do they want that same tactic tonight?
Man, you just stole it right out of my head. I'm thinking to myself, man, did Foundation just take that race? Or did maybe Team Cadence present by Waldo Racing the way that they want the race to end, because clearly it was Foundation's race from 4 laps to the end. I'll be curious to see if that happens again today. No rest.
Red and white jersey, Foundation New York riding on the front. That Uruguay. So the rider from Uruguay with MC, he doesn't really have many teammates or any teammates. He's out here by himself, but he'll ride on the front the entire time, patrolling things. Super talented rider, coming off a riding 10-day stage race at the Tour of Uruguay. So you can imagine the fitness he got from that, carrying it over here to the criteriums. Lucas Burgoyne with that Stars and Stripes jersey picked up, the win at probably one of the biggest criteriums in the entire nation at the Athens Twilight Criterium. And, he has one goal. He likes to be able to win every single race he gets to, and that's kind of been thwarted by Foundation at Sunny King, at Greenville, at Spartanburg. And the question's going to be what will happen here in Suwanee.
Man, and I can really appreciate the bravado of Lucas Burgoyne. He is, you can see the Team Cadence bus over there, along with their hauler. I mean, that is legit World Tour ready. And on the top of it, it says #1 Crit Cowboy. So what that means is that he deems himself the #1 Crit Racer. No one can argue, but it has been a big tussle between Team Cadence and Foundation.
I think in 2025, #1 Crit Racer. Now he's got to prove it again in 2026, and it has not come to fruition yet.
Yeah, I mean, memory is short, especially for the fans. It's like, what have you done for me lately? And I think Athens really boosted them, but it's also, and speaking of which, Lucas Burgoyne, first rider on this big group of racers. Maybe he got word that we were chatting about him.
Well, it looked like 2 riders slipping up the road a little bit, including one of his teammates. So Burgoyne actually going to the front, maybe slowing things down a little bit. So maybe that's answering our earlier question about what the tactical approach is looking to be.
Well, that right there telling us right there with Burgoyne up there and Cade Bickmore trying to slow it down. They want this breakaway to stick, so let's see who's in there. So you've got Bud and Fetzer and no Foundation. Now, I guess here's my question. Bike racing is about pride, but is Foundation racing for the overall? Is Team Cadence racing for the overall, or are they racing for individual wins? Well, we're getting ready to find out right now.
Well, I'll tell you.
What does Foundation do, Bill?
Well, it's interesting. Foundation, Mendez, it looked like on the front, taking a look back over his shoulder, and they weren't real organized. They didn't have a lot of Foundation riders on the front of the group, so it'll be interesting how they assess this move. I would think they're going to want to send 1 or 2 riders across, because, again, some of the races that the Foundation riders have won out of breakaways, they've had Cadence riders in them. None of those Cadence riders have been Burgoyne, so I think they like their odds maybe getting up the road again with a rider like Fetzer.
It looks like Brandon Fury trying to be able to go across in that yellow jersey. I'm not sure who the blue and pink is, and right behind him, that is Foundation. So that group of 2 right behind him does contain a Foundation rider. Going to be able to figure out who that is. It's Caden Budd in that aqua jersey. So Budd comes through, Fetzer tucking in, and then we got Clever Martinez going across. So that's going to be Luke Muffsteller for the Bear National Team, trying to be able to chase him down. And brand new news to me, which I learned yesterday from YouTube, is that Clever Martinez is 37 years old. I had no idea.
Wait, the guy that's racing right now, Clever Martinez with the flight and everything, that is unbelievable. Ride your bike, she'll stay youthful, evidently. 37.
Yeah, Clever telling me a few weeks ago that he feels as good as he has in the last 10 years. He's riding well. He's super motivated. That Foundation team made a few small roster changes over the winter, and they've come out swinging even better than last year, and that does wonders for your motivation. So it's great to see Clever continuing to ride so well in his upper 30s here.
I think, Frankie, that they're deeper and more talented this year than they were last year.
That Luke Muffsteller in the front right there, Bear National Team. He is normally a super mountain biker. Comes from the mountain bike background, coming out here in Suwanee. He has not participated in Greenville or Spartanburg, but obviously showing up here. But when you got the form, and we're talking top level for Mottsteller in mountain biking, and he's showing it off right now. As now Cade Bickmore coming out of the pit. Took him about 10 laps to get to the front. Gomez marking it, the rider that's got second over the last 2 days.
Well, Gomez currently sitting in 4th overall after getting a great result last night. Only 7 points out of 3rd, only 20 points out of 2nd. So great opportunity for Gomez to maybe try and slip under the radar, get up the road there just a little bit. So again, the lap before when we saw Clever Martinez on the front, that was purely some teamwork duty, trying to kind of set the table for a move by one of his teammates.
You know what, Bill, that's an interesting introspection. Clever Martinez won Athens Twilight last year. This year, he's been more like, and this is the most positive way you can look at it, more of a cheerleader for the team. Every time they win, he wins. And he has been the first to celebrate, whether it's Pata, whether it's Mendez, or whatever. He's the first to give a hug. So he can win any race, but he is there to support the survival of this amazing team out of New York. Speaking of which, there's a dangerous move. You got Bickmore and Gomez. Mendez trying to get it. Man, that is some firepower and a Latin perspective.
That looks like maybe Johan Gomez trying to get across, the young mountain biker. I think he's only 19 years old, out of Colombia. I believe that was him coming through in about 4th position trying to get across. Another rider that wasn't really on our radar before the last couple of days, but he's just been kind of nickel and dime in his way with some very, very solid rides.
Hey, don't forget to stop by Stillfire. We've got I think that guy looks very familiar for somebody who races the Tour de France many years. He's over there grabbing himself a nice beer from Stillfire. We expect you guys to hop on over there and grab some hops, whatever. We've also got our food trucks up top. I hear the food is wonderful. Please stop on by and support all of our vendors today and check out their tents.
Well, next up, Andy Wolf getting himself a beer out of the tent. What are you doing over there, Andy? You're on the wrong side of the fence, man. Oh, I understand. I'll put in a message to Brian. We'll get that sussed out. You guys driving straight back tonight? Fly back. Come on, man. Get in the car. I'm driving home right from here tonight.
Speaking of driving at home, driving right there's on the front is Brian Gomez, followed by Bickmore. He is there, locked and loaded, but now he's fading. Hopefully that Danny Summerhill can recover and get back in and bring that back.
Look at these splits going on farther back the line. There's so many riders in a little bit of trouble. And I'll tell you what, Chad, when you see riders dangling off the back, you know, only, 20 minutes or so into the race, it goes one of two ways. It's either going to be a really short day or it's going to be a really long day.
All right, Bill, let's talk perspective. You've had it many times. What's it like when you're having a bad day and all you see is the rear end of the rider in front of you, and that's it for like 30 minutes? You cannot move up. You cannot move out. You're just stuck because it's so fast.
It's all about mental compartmentalization. You've got to think just one stretch of road at a time and get to the next turn, get around the next lap, and you know at some point it's going to ease up. So it's all about tricking your head into thinking it's going to ease up sooner rather than later. Because you start thinking about the entirety of the race being that hard, yeah, you're going to check out real fast.
Back to the front, your overall leader with no teammates. He is racing like Carl Menzies used to. 10 men.
Yeah, Rodriguez, again, we talked about it a lot last night. The rider out of Uruguay, more or less here solo. No other riders wearing the same kit. We suspect he's probably made an alliance with one or two other riders to help him out. But we're not even sure who that might be because they're wearing a different kit than he is. But he has been all over the front. And last night, he literally was the person who covered every single attack.
I was just exhausted watching him race. And it looks like we've got a swelling at the front. Well, that's interesting right now.
So a team out of Texas joining forces with a team out of Florida. That's the Waldo Racing team, and Cadence is the team out of Texas as they decide to be able to make a little super power team. Well, a couple splits coming up in the back right now. Not good for those 6 riders off the back right now because I don't think the front's going to be slowing down very much. Again, Cadence Cyclery on the front. Look at all the red and white jerseys that are amassed. That's like the entire team is in the top 10 right now.
That's got to bring you confidence. If you're up there and you turn around and you see nothing but red teammates next to you, it's got to make you feel empowered that you're really dictating this race.
Not only that, think about the confidence they have with Marcos Mendez winning, right, in LaGrange, winning in Greenville, and then you had Parra winning in Spartanburg. Confidence is not a problem with Foundation right now. It is through the roof. And Gomez getting second on both of those days as he's coming back. These guys know they can manhandle anything that's taking place out of here.
But they don't have the overall leader's jersey, which is just mind-blowing to me. How many races in top 5 Foundation has gotten, and they still do not have the leader's jersey. And our leader, overall leader, has not won a race.
Well, Foundation getting back down to business on the front. That's going to be Gade on the front driving the train. So Gade, another one of the guys on that team that a very dedicated worker along with Clever Martinez. And, you know, as we're kind of talking about the depth of that Foundation squad, I think the only stress that they have at this point is figuring out which one of the riders they want to set up for the win. And we all figured Mendez for the win last night. And lo and behold, we saw Parra launch the sprint out of the final turn to take his first victory of the 2026 USA Crit Series. So that just underscores that they've got so many different riders able to win races, and that's what makes it even harder for the teams like Cadence and everyone else is they don't really know who to watch when it comes down to the finale.
That rider in the front in the black jersey was Pablo Paredes with the Rockland Devo cycling team in that black jersey. That's the team that Clever Martinez rode for last year with Rockland Devo. Then he made the switch over to the Foundation team. Foundation picking up Brian Gomez as well. Brian Gomez last year rode for Kingdom Elite. So they went around. It's almost like the help me with the football, the transfer portal.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Thank you. It's almost like the NIL with riders going in the transfer portal, switching teams, trying to be able to make sure they're on a good squad for 2026.
How did you, of all people, struggle with that term when your wife knows more football than 99% of the people in this world?
I had a blank moment.
You had a trade. Tasty Hazy, thank you for Stillfire. Thank you to Gwinnett, and of course our good friends here in Suwanee.
Yesterday, a lot of riders not happy with the young 19-year-old out of Colombian Gomez. I think his first name's Juan. I'm trying to be able to look him up here. And some of them, you know what? Can you ever blame one person for a crash? Well, I guess you can. You definitely can. But that big crash that happened yesterday, there was a lot of yelling going at Juan Gomez, the young 19-year-old out of Colombia. They felt like it was his fault. And so, but this guy's good, super fast. Black jersey with a pink sleeve. Watch out for him a little bit later on.
I mean, dude, how many pros don't yell at a crash? Even if they caused it, they're pointing at somebody else. Dude, you crossed my line.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story that I was talking to one of the riders who went down in that crash, and he got up, and I'm not going to say who it is, but he started yelling in English, and then he realized who it was, and immediately was able to switch to his native Spanish. Switch to Spanish to be able to make it mean more, so both riders would absolutely know what they were talking about.
Yeah, if it's falling on deaf ears, it's more than likely either he's ignoring you or he doesn't understand you. Switching languages probably helped.
We're inching ever closer to that midway point sprint. We'll ring the bell in a couple of laps here, about another 2 laps or so before we get to that mid-race point sprint. Another opportunity for these riders to had their accounts just a little bit more, and you're probably going to expect to see Mendez, Gomez, and Bickmore all get in on that because our top 5 very close on points there. Less than 200 points separating first back to 5th place there, so a lot of opportunity for every one of these points to make a little bit of a difference down the line. Watching Lucas Burgoyne maintain a little bit better field position tonight than he had the last couple of nights. Last night, of course, in Spartanburg, he was a little bit better than he was in Greenville, but tonight he kind of upped that ante even a little bit more, recognizing that they've had to make some adjustments.
Sorry, look at the force from Gomez. I mean, he just put up like 1,000 watts going down that hill. Fetzer just tucked in. You could see him getting lower and lower and lower.
Well, looks like everything going to be just about all together as they're going to come through here. Remember, we've got the point sprint unfolding right now, and leading that one out from the front. Mosteller trying to get in, but Rodriguez says, no, those are my points.
I'm just shaking my head. Where is this guy getting this energy from? It's like he's covered, and now gets 10 points.
Well, you don't become a national champion with not being able to have the legs, and obviously we're seeing, he's got strength, but he's also got a ton of speed, and that's the dynamic duo. That's what makes him so dangerous, is Leonel Rodriguez, super talented right now, dominating in the criteriums here. Summerhill trying to be able to counterattack after that. Little glance, Gomez with another glance, trying to be able to gauge what's going on. And that's the thing, you can't just ride hard. You have to know your surroundings. You got to know what's going on behind you, and you have to know what's going on in front of you. So riders just came through seeing 26 laps to go, which means this lap they're going to be seeing 25 laps to go. Once again, our High Line Criterium presented by Gwinnett Sports Commission right here in Suwanee, Georgia. The second year of the event, last year coming here for the very first time. And I'd like to be able to thank GSC, driving the economic development and growth in Gwinnett County as a leading site for sports events, from youth to collegiate to professional.
Oh, look at that. There goes foundation. That's going to be Gomez and Summerhill. They've now got established just about a 3-second gap. There's been so much action. About 20 riders back. You see another split in the group as one of our riders in the back trying to get back on the front. But another big move here by Gomez and Summerhill. Again, all over every single attack.
I don't know who I favor more if that sticks. They are both equally strong and talented. I'm not really sure. I mean, I've seen them both win field sprints before, so I don't know.
Yeah, Danny had been around the block a number of years. He way back, I think going back to about 2008. He was a silver medalist at the Cyclocross World Championships. Danny Summerhill, way back as a junior, picking up that silver medal and still raced a high-level cyclocross program up until maybe about 10 years ago. And then he switched over to more of the full-time Criterium schedule.
Danny, also your defending champion here, winning in 2025. And you're going way back, Pan American track champion, Danny Summerhill.
Oh, geez, I forgot about that. Wow, that's a good one.
I just discovered that a couple days ago, too, when I had to look up some information on Danny. Danny's everywhere, but he's nowhere. Like, he'll win races once in a while, but he's such a key component to the bike race. Like, he can dictate what happens in a bike race, and he's always been on teams that have incredible riders to be able to win. And he's such a team player that he's always playing into that role. And so that's something he's going to be doing here today again, because we've seen a lot of the Instagram videos coming out of Lucas Bourgogne and that Cadence team, is that they're going to try to be able to set up that Stars and Stripes jersey if it comes down to that field sprint.
And the only reason why you're mentioning Lucas Bourgogne is because we're not going to mention him ever unless you arbitrarily bring it up, because he is hiding. He's let Luke Fetzer, he's letting Cade Bickmore and Danny Summerhill do the work for their team, and then he hopes to light it up if it ends up being a field sprint.
Well, interesting now, we got Summerhill in that little group of 3 off the front, but who's chasing? Luke Fetzer, his teammate, leading the chase from the field, so obviously they're not happy with that current situation.
And that also sets up potential for a counterattack here.
So your 3 leaders coming through here. They're going to see 22 laps to go on the cards. 22 to go.
22 laps to go, 22. And I'm glad to see Lucas racing his bike.
Agreed.
And racing by instinct and not waiting for somebody else to cover it, because this you do not want to let go away.
Yeah, he realized at that point, Lucas is like, hold on a second. This is getting a little frisky at the front. I better be paying big time attention. And you're going to see it. It's going to be single file when they come through on this lap.
Not only frisky, it's the riders. It's the names that are coming up to the front that you cannot let this go. Leonel Rodriguez coming through. That's going to be Bickmore right there. Sitting behind is going to be Marcos Mendez, and in that group as well is going to be Gade with those blue shoes. And Bickmore shut it down. You see how he didn't pull through? That was a way to be able to help and be able to bring it all back together. As now Winston-Salem in the red and green starting to be able to come around the outside.
Yeah, he took that token pull through where it looks like you're pulling through, but you're not really putting pressure on the pedals. It's a great way to slow down the group.
So, sorry, Bill, a lot of what's happening are tactics and strategy. Different riders trying to be able to figure out which group they want to be able to go with. They know who the sprinters are. You don't want to get in a group if you're not fast. Then you know you're going to get beat at the line, so then you sit on, you don't help. Then a new group goes. So it's a back and forth that's taking place right now with 20 laps to go.
Well, I'll tell you, Foundation doing their very best to keep this thing very strung out right now. I would suspect they're trying to spring a late race breakaway. Gomez sensing maybe a little bit of fatigue on the part of the Cadence Cyclery riders, and keeping that pace very high as 3, now 4, 5 riders looking like they're going to form here as they come through. They're going to be looking at 19 laps to go on the cards. Gomez swinging off. It looks like he's not going to get any help from Bickmore. Mendez going to go right back on the move.
Suwanee's own going up the road in that purple. Cliff Family Foundation. Preston I. Your professional from Suwanee on the attack right now. That's the rider sitting in 4th position. What a great drone shots we have had all day long. A big compliment to our drone operator. I have no idea where he is, but doing a great job. Oh, there he is up there. He's up on the High Line.
Yep, and there goes Preston. Preston's got no teammates too, so he is at a disadvantage, just like Mendez. Sorry, I said Mendez, I meant Rodriguez. Leonel Rodriguez Ramos racing amazing right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, I, for one, will be kind of surprised if this doesn't snap under the pressure in the next couple of laps, because Foundation really doing a lot of work to keep riders up the road, to keep trying to get on the gas pedal. Preston I, the local hometown boy, now getting after it. We've got Gade, we've got Bickmore, all forcing the pace on the front.
Leonel Rodriguez starting to tire out. He, normally he goes across the gap very easily. Not only it's just because of what he's doing today, but the other 2 days as a one-man show, having to cover all of these moves. But you can see he's not able to get across that gap as easily as he used to be. So right now, Leonel Rodriguez starting to be able to feel a little bit more tired as Foundation comes flying around the outside. I think it's going to be Marcos Mendez that's coming around the outside right there. No surprise with Mendez, again, winning 3 of our USA Crit races. Nobody's ever done that before. 17 years of USA Crit races. Nobody has won 3 races. And now that I'm thinking about it, he won Sunny King, he won LaGrange, and he won Greenville. So it's 3 in a row.
Amazing.
And nobody's ever done that in the 17 years of our USA Crit series.
Well, I'll tell you, the way they're riding tonight, I suspect they are absolutely trying to force it right now. Every time it comes back together, another Foundation rider attacks and keeps that pace really rolling. You can see that elastic continuing to snap. Oh, look at that. Danny Summerhill looking like he's on the struggle bus there a little bit, forced to continually cover. So 2 different team tactics going on. Foundation, they clearly want a breakaway. Cadence trying to keep this under control for Burgoyne in the sprint. Again, we talked about this last night in Spartanburg. Cadence's best bet for the win lays on Burgoyne's shoulders, and that lies in a field sprint. They are desperately trying to keep this together, keep it organized for that field sprint. Foundation knows that. Sebastian Alexander somewhere on the course barking into their ear, telling them, look, Cadence is on the ropes. They can't cover every move. Keep it going.
Do you think that our team from Foundation is a little bit more utilitarian? Like what that means in the baseball terms is that they can do multi-tool. They can either play shortstop, they can play right field, left field, and occasionally play first base. I think that Foundation's got, like Brian Gomez can win in a field sprint or in a breakaway. Para, sprinter. Mendez, sprinter. But then Clever Martinez, he can win anyway too. Does that put additional pressure on Team Cadence?
Well, Mendez can do both. Mendez is super strong. He can go solo and win here. But, yeah, Foundation is everybody that can win the race. I mean, yes, Cadence maybe has 2 riders that can kind of fit into that mold. But right now they're kind of controlling things. Clever Martinez on the front right now. I'm getting worried. Not worried. Why should I say I'm getting worried? But I'm getting definitely worried with Pablo Paredes, the guy from Rockland Depot in that black jersey sitting in second position. He's stepping up. He is right there looking very comfortable as we have a lot of riders off the back making their way through. Hey, cheer him on. Come on, Christopher. Keep her going. No, no, no. You shake the head up and down, not side by side.
Come on, Ames.
That's Christopher Ames trying to be able to hang on. If he loses about 5 more seconds, he's going to get pulled off and not be able to finish the race, which is going to happen. Just giving him a little bit of encouragement.
No, I already told him to save it for Tuesday night for my grassroots series in Charlotte. Said save your bullets, Chris.
Well, Luke Fetzer trying to regain a little control over the front for Cadence. There goes Danny Summerhill taking the lead. So Cadence trying to slow things up here just a little bit, regain their composure, allow themselves to recover, allow Burgoyne to maybe follow the wheels a little bit. You can see the look on Summerhill's face. He's giving it just a little bit of effort there. Clever Martinez sitting up and opening up just a little bit of a gap. A very, very smart move there by Foundation. Martinez came through that turn in about 7th position. 2 of his teammates were in front of him, so he very astutely kind of came off the gas in that turn.
Brian Gomez over the last 4 years has been on like 4 different teams. You know, they keep everybody wants him, and so he keeps kind of switching. Partly because some of the teams go away. I mean, some of the teams go away.
Yeah,
you know, so I
best
mean,
buddies.
Best buddies, and then you had Rainstorm. Trying to remember who he was with before Best Buddies, which is not ringing a bell. But then, yeah, you had Rainstorm. Then he got to Kingdom Elite, and then he went to here to Foundation. And so every single time either a team folds, and even if it doesn't, people reach out to try to get Brian Gomez on their squad. And he's coming up back up to the true form that Gomez is known for, because this guy is a monster of a rider, as a Fetzer looking over his shoulder. Fetzer, at under 23 national champion, young rider, riding near the front, controlling things, super good, talented rider. That's another one. He's super strong and super fast. He's like a Marcos Mendez. He can do a little bit of both.
But why is he not wearing his national champion jersey?
Not allowed to, because the U.S. Pro Champion is here, and you're only allowed 1 national champion jersey in the race, and that's going to be Lucas Burgoyne. So the U23 rider is not allowed. If we had a junior national champion that was in this race, he would not be allowed to be able to wear it as well.
That's a bummer.
I would rather have the national champion jerseys. We can explain who the under-23 national champion is, who the pro champion is, masters champion, junior champion. That's what we're here for, to explain who these Stars and Stripes jerseys are.
I'd rather be explaining why he's wearing the jersey versus why he's not.
Yeah, it's a tough thing for that under-23 jersey. He wore it a bit throughout last season after he won that race. But, yeah, this year, different story. He's wrapped in the standard Cadence kit, so we do have to point that out throughout the day that Fetzer, a reigning under-23 champion. Just 2 years prior, he was the junior national criterium champion as well, so he's got a couple of titles under his belt. Meanwhile, Danny Summerhill, the hardest working guy in this race maybe so far, leading a whole lot of laps for that Cadence Cyclery squad. Rolling on down this way. They're going to be looking at 13 laps to go, so slowly but surely we are ticking off the laps here.
Bigger gaps are opening up behind him, Bill. Look at that, Bill. Gomez waving, saying go. You got it. Gomez now starting to be able to come across, but man, Leonel not letting anything get out of his sight, riding very strategic and very smart.
The question that I have, we all know without a doubt, you guys standing there, I don't care where you are in this whole entire race course, or a matter of fact, wherever you're watching around the world on the live stream, there's one athlete that desperately wants to win this race. Does he stay within himself and race his bike smartly versus over aggressively? And that rider, Preston I.
Yeah, Preston currently sitting 3rd overall, only about 13 points behind Mendez, and about 100 and maybe 70 points behind Rodriguez, who's your overall leader. But yeah, nothing better than being a top-level professional criterium rider, having the opportunity not to race in your hometown in a small scale event, but to race one of the top level criteriums in the U.S. right in your hometown. So to try and win that race would be a dream come true for Preston. So he's got to simply follow the flow of the race, not get too excited, and he really does have a good opportunity to take this one. Summerhill still driving on the front. There's Gomez on the chase. There's our man from Rockland, Devo. So quick to cover everything. Look at the rest of the field. Desperately trying. Preston I, the local guy we just talked about, you know, he's kind of almost in a position like Rodriguez is tonight, riding by himself. And, you know, obviously he wants to win any bike race he enters. With this one, maybe a little bit more special. I'm sure he's got a lot of family, a lot of friends out here. And, you know, you talk to all your friends and family about what you do, why you spend 20 hours a week riding all around on your bike, and he wants to show them exactly why he does it right here tonight.
Yeah, third last year. I'll be curious to see how he notches today. He's riding super smart, trying to stay out of the wind, but following as many wheels as he can to get him closer to the front.
All right, well, we got our riders making their way on through. We've got some more cash to give away from all of our wonderful sponsors here in Gwinnett. And so we are going to ring that bell for a 3-place cash preem. You guys ready? Are my bell ringers ready? All right, get after it. We've got a 3-place preem, 3-place cash preem, 3 places for cash.
There goes Bickmore on the attack, and Brian Gomez just sounded the foundation alarm like, uh-oh, where was my team when Bickmore went? He jumped and he hit him hard, and he's already got 20 bike links.
Yeah, he got a big gap right away, and Gomez super slow to respond, and right, his body language was like, oh man, do I have to do this again? But look at that, Bickmore in full time trial mode right now, and he's got a good bit of daylight, so he may not only scoop up first place cash, but this could be a good springboard to a big breakaway maneuver here.
Yeah, one would guess that you'd see a lot of red and white at the front of this bike race coming up shortly. The Foundation realizes that their nemesis this entire USACRITS series is the team in black, the team in blue, the team in white of Cadence.
Well, that's going to be G'day lighting the fire right now. He's got Fetzer on the wheel, and they've got the youngster out of Rockland, Paredes, on the wheels. They're coming down into sight, picking up some cold, hard cash right here. He's going to take first place cash, Cade Bickmore.
250?
Oh, man, here comes the Foundation. Look at a single file. That is going to be a big move right there. That's going to be, of course, G'day leading the charge, picking up second place on that preem. Oh, G'day second place, and Luke Fetzer picking up third on that. Okay, Bickmore not waiting around to see what's going on behind him. He is not looking back one single bit. If he does, you'll see one Foundation rider has flown the coop trying to get across. That's going to be G'day. Meanwhile, Paredes from Rockland desperately trying not to miss the boat.
Hey, if you're in the truck, can you re-rack that last corner where those guys
we
were?
want to see that again.
Those guys were a little bit hands-on with each other. So if you guys could backtrack and find that, I'd love to be able to see that replay. We got 9 laps to go to be able to figure out the rest of this stuff.
It's getting a little chippy. We're just going to say that.
I mean, look, we're on day number 3 of some high-power crits.
7.
Riders are getting tired. The tension is high. There's so much at stake that it's not surprising that tempers are getting a little heated out there.
Gomez going across up to Cade Bickmore now. So he has his lasers on the tracking and the missiles are deployed as Gomez now trying to be able to get up to Cade Bickmore. A lot of coasting in the back right now. So pretty good situation right now. There's going to be a cadence and a foundation. So the question is, are they happy with the right riders being in the front? Gomez second in Greenville, second in Spartanburg. Got to say, if he can get up there, he's going to be looking for a different place on the podium, moving up into first.
Brian Gomez, he is definitely feeling a lot better right now. He is showing you that he is deserving of an amazing result.
Leonel Rodriguez needs to sit. Like, he should not panic.
Nope, right.
With those overall points, don't worry about 2 guys going up the road because both of them are no threat to the overall. Leonel needs to make sure if they stay away, he gets 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But Gomez having a little bit of difficulty bringing back Cade Bickmore. Gap's 3 seconds, 3 seconds. Look at him getting down. Look at the aerodynamics. 28 miles an hour coming through our home stretch.
Who's left to chase, I guess, is my big question.
Yeah, it's going to be Diego Galliano from the MBO Racing Squad leading the chase. And notably, right, you've got Bickmore off the front. You've got Gomez trying to close. None of Foundation, none of Cadence are chasing. Now, what we've seen earlier in the race, we've seen Cadence maybe doing a little chasing of Cadence. We've seen Foundation doing a little chasing of Foundation because they've all wanted to kind of keep this together. But now they seem very happy with the current combination. And so Gomez desperately trying to get across right now. It looks like he's going to make contact. Both those major teams are going to be very happy with our current combination. So this breakaway is getting a lot of traction. This could go to the line right here. We're going to be looking at 6 to go. That means we are going to be ringing the bell for a point sprint, the final point sprint of the night. Point sprint on the line. 2 leaders, Gomez and Bickmore.
Bickmore trying to get Gomez to be able to come through. Neither of them really want to be able to ride right now. Riders, we got 6 to go, 6 to go. Point, 6 to go.
Gustav Johansson, Fetzer, Martinez, Brock Mason, Danny Summerhill. So Brock, and he's also another one of the Cadence riders along with Summerhill up there and Fetzer. They're trying to get to work early. Remember the fight for position last night, and it seemed to wait kind of late in the game, but it looks like Cadence again. If you follow Lucas Burgoyne on the Instagram, you see some little snippets from their post-race conversations on their team bus, and you're not seeing all the meat and potatoes of it. You're just getting the highlight reel. I can assure you, it's a little more in depth and probably some more words being thrown around in that meeting. And the general point is they're trying to rewrite that script tonight to get things right.
I think the Peloton looks like it's comfortable with this move, and here's what's going to happen. Just because 2 strongest teams have riders up the road, what it also means is that that's it. They're going to be done here in a second. Now we're going to re-rack and we're going to come down to a bunch gallop. Luke Fetzer gets on the horn and tells everybody that we're back together again. That's what he was doing.
Bickmore attacking right now around the outside, but those 2 riders are not going to work together. They both knew they had more powerful riders in the back, and so Gomez sat on and Bickmore sat on and has been all reeled back in. The question mark, though, is Galliano. He's the one that did all of the chasing to be able to bring back those leaders. So We got a regrouping, a reshuffling of the deck, leading in with 5 to go.
Oh man, we are getting down to the true business end of our men's pro race, the final race of the night. What a day of racing. Earlier in the week, we thought we were going to see some rain, some poor weather, but Mother Nature absolutely smiled on us. It's been a wonderful day. We've been so excited to bring you some of the best criterium racing in the country, and we are getting down to the tail end of this race. We're going to need you on the outside of the fence to start making a whole lot of noise every single time they come through here into the finale.
All right, you guys, we are down to 4 to go. 4 laps to go. The battle for the front of the bike race is on.
Gentlemen, I got a question for you. Who's
inside of 2 laps to go? That means 2 kilometers to go. Only a little over 1 mile, about 2 minutes left of our men's bike race.
Last night, Lucas said he should have won. He clearly said he thought he should have won. Some hijinks were going on. Danny Summerhill looking back for his teammate. Does a little hanky-janky there. So Danny Summerhill has now become the lead out in hopes that he can get Lucasburg going to the line.
Ladies and gentlemen, here in Suwanee, this is what Pro Criterium Racing is all about. We are going to be ringing the bell one more time for 1 to go. I want you all to drown me out here with a wall of sound. Show these guys a little bit of love here tonight, because we are about to enter the final lap of our men's bike race. 1 to go! 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go!
1 to go, 1 to go. Great call, Bill and Frankie. And Foundation has got 6 riders on the front.
Chad, you had talked about it earlier. On a course like this with a sweeping turn and a downhill, 6 riders lined up, Saturn sit-up would work perfectly for these guys to be able to come around. So we're going to see what they're going to be able to do and who they're leading out. That's the question mark. Who are they leading out? I think Marcos Mendez should be the guy. He's the closest in the overall competition. What will happen?
Burgoyne is bumping everybody right now. This has become NASCAR on 2 wheels.
Oh boy, Burgoyne has infiltrated the foundation train. He's third wheel. He anticipated that sit-up because he doesn't know who to watch. Brian Gomez on the point, going to bring him into the final turn. Ladies and gentlemen, they're on the home straight.
Ladies and gentlemen, high on adrenaline. Burgoyne is hoping to overtake it. Dory shut right. Now it's open. Your winner is going to be Lucas Burgoyne.
Preston I coming in second from Suwanee. Your U.S. Professional National Champion picking up first place as Lucas Burgoyne comes in. Unbelievable. What a focus from Lucas Burgoyne to try to be able to get that victory. Chad, you're going to go down there and interview him? Yeah, 100%. No, ask him his chain ring. I'm telling you, he has a larger chain ring than everybody else out there, and on a downhill sprint, definitely going to be an advantage for your U.S. National Champion. Stick around, interview coming up right here in a moment.
Here in just a moment. If you are intrigued by colorful interviews, we're going to bring you one in about 1 minute and a half. Come on over here, Lucas. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2026 champion for Team Cadence, presented by Waldo Racing, Lucas Burgoyne. High five from Danny. Good work from him. Hugs all around. All right, buddy, you ready? All right, so here we have Lucas and Lucas. Better to call that. That was a cage match. Bouncing and fighting for the win, the celebration, the respect from the other team. Tell us a little bit about the way that you guys designed it and the way that it ended up.
Foundation has been absolutely incredible this year, and we have to ride in a way that respects the talent and the cohesion of that team. Many of those guys have ridden together for years, and we're still finding our footing together as a not new team, but one that's new to a lot of riders with each other. And so today we switched up the tactics a little bit to, you know, try to put them on the back foot, and it seemed like it was pretty damn successful. And you know, yeah, it's exciting.
Tell us a little bit to help to understand. We're looking down at your bike, and for people who don't know, there's a ring in the front. We call it the big chain ring. What is that gear ratio that you've got on that?
I got it's a nice downhill sprint today, so I got a 58.10 on so that I can hit like 45 in the closing clip, so.
Well, and one would guess it was pretty close to that. Tell us a little bit about how the lead out went and your patience, and then you ducking in and jumping into the lead out train from foundation.
Yeah, man, I mean, it's like we're a sprinters team, they're a sprinters team. It gets rowdy. It was really our plan to do that yesterday, and unfortunately I almost went down in the last corner after setting up a pretty good finale. And so today, had something to prove, and we rode like it, and I think that's why we were successful. It was a great team effort from Danny, who's over here dying right now, it looks like. So, we're ready to go home. We got 3 weeks of rest. We're going to get everyone healthy on 2 legs and in their chest and come back firing on all cylinders.
Last question for you. With the way that the race unfolded, we've been watching Instagram. A lot of people have the kind of the up and down nature of you guys racing. It's either really high or it's steady in middle. How do you guys overcome that and stay on the top at every race?
I mean, this is a team that's coming off, one of the best crit seasons of all time, and we rebuilt the roster this year with an American focus. And so, there are some highs in the beginning. This is only our 6th national race day together for pretty much everyone on the team other than me and Luke, who have ridden together for years. And the point in this season, there's a lot of highs because you conquer and it's pretty incredible, but there can be a lot of lows too as you learn to gel together. And we've wanted to share that with everyone and really show them, it's more than just winning. You lose more often in this sport than not. And so if we can show that, it makes us human, man.
Well, there you have it. On a high in the current national champions jersey for Team Cadence, Waldo Racing, Lucas Burgoyne.
So stick around for just a few moments as we get our podium boxes out in the street. We will begin our official podium ceremony first for our women and then our men. We're going to go through our awards for our top 3 on the day, as well as our current overall leaders of the 2026 USA Criterium Series. Once again, please don't go anywhere. We've still got podium presentations to get underway here momentarily once we get everything set up here right underneath the finish line truss. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to get our podium presentation underway for the evening. We are going to start with our women's professional race. I'd like to call in third place, riding for 1K flips racing, Flor Espirituzanato to the podium. In second place, riding for the Legion of Los Angeles, welcome Alexis Ramirez. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion on the night to the top step. Please welcome from One Heart Racing, Elizabeth Castaño. There comes our champion to the top step of the podium. There you go. How about hands in the air for your top three? All right, now we've got our official winner's jersey presentation. Mr. Thad Fisher from the USACRITS organization gonna give Miss Castellano a fresh new jersey to add to the collection. There we go, a nice new jersey to the collection. All right, another picture with that. We'd also like to welcome the Mayor of Suwanee, Mr. Jimmy Burnett, to present the medal to our champion. There you go, Jimmy. Sneak through the crowd, my friend. This is your town. And how about Suwanee City Council member Beth Hilscher to present the winner's flowers. There we go. There comes Beth with the flowers. Well done. Hey, we're not done yet. How about Larry Pettiford, the Mayor Pro Tempe here of Suwanee, to present the champagne to our champion. If you've never been to a bike race before, well, guess what? You might get sprayed with a little bit of champagne in our winner's celebration. Oh, boy. Getting a little help there on the podium, trying to open up. Thad Fisher might have opened up a champagne bottle a time or two. Oh, boy. There we go. This ain't Alexi's first rodeo. How about it for your podium here at the High Line Criterium? Well done to your top three on the day. Everybody getting a chug. One more round of applause. Your top three on the day. That's Espirituzanato, Ramirez, and your champion, Castaño. We'd now like to welcome your current overall leader in the women's division to the podium, riding for Kingdom Elite Racing, maintaining a grip on that orange Jackaroo jersey. How about it for Lisa Ray? There goes Lisa to the top step. Super consistent over the last 5 races. So Lisa Ray, your reigning champion still in the series. Thad Fisher going to present her with a brand new Jackaroo Leaders jersey that she'll wear into the season finale. The final 2 races in Winston-Salem coming up on Memorial Day weekend. Hey, Suwanee, how about it? Your current leader, riding for Kingdom Elite, Lisa Ray. All right, we're going to move directly into our men's professional podium. In third place on the day, he rides for Foundation Cycling New York, Brian Gomez. Your silver medalist on the day. Hey, folks, you're going to know this guy. He rides for Cliff Family Drifters from right here in Suwanee. How about it, Preston I? Please join me in welcoming to the top step your champion on the day. He rides for Team Cadence, presented by Waldo Racing, your reigning national champion. This is the Crit Cowboy, Lucas Burgoyne. Hey, Suwanee, how about it? Your men's pro podium, Gomez, I, and Burgoyne. Once again, we're going to go to Mr. Thad Fisher to present the winner's jersey on the day to Lucas. Hey, one more time for the photos there, gentlemen, with the official winner's jersey on the day. We'd now like to bring back your mayor of Suwanee, Jimmy Burnett, to present the medals to our top three. Hey, Beth Hilscher, I think you've got some more flowers for our podium as well. The Beth, the Suwanee City Council member, presenting the flowers once again to our top three. Yeah, there we go. Hey, Larry Pettiford, let's bring back the champagne. I think Mr. Burgoyne might have done this one or two times. There we go, Suwanee, your top three. Everybody getting a little champagne bath. Gomez taking the first sip. Preston getting his turn, and we'll see if Burgoyne can down the rest of that bottle. Well done, gentlemen. Your top three in your men's pro race this evening. Well done, gentlemen. Now we're going to bring up your overall USACRITS Series leader to the podium. Yeah, the same man out of Uruguay, still in charge of the top step. How about it for Leonel Rodriguez? Come on down, Leonel. Let's get you on that top step once again. Mr. Consistency all the way through this series. He's got one more weekend to go. Thad Fisher going to give him yet another of our orange Jack Crew leaders jerseys. Hey, Suwanee, how about one more great round of applause? Your overall leader out of Uruguay, Leonel Rodriguez. Well, what a great day here in Suwanee at the 2026 High Line Criterium. A big thanks to all of our sponsors, all of our partners for making a wonderful stop here on the series. We're happy to be back. We're looking forward to the final weekend. Coming up Memorial Day weekend, 2 races in Winston-Salem to cap off the 2026 USACRITS Series. Thanks so much for joining us. For Frankie Andreu and Chad Andrews, I'm Bill Ellison. We will see you down the road. Be safe and keep the rubber side down.